Select a color range in an image. Select a color range in an image. How to select a color range in an image? Select a range of colors. How to select a range of colors also? The color range, by the way, the color range command selects a specified color or color range within an existing selection or an entire image. And if you want to replace a selection, be sure to deselect everything before applying this command. And the color range command is not available, by the way, for 32 bytes per channel images. And to refine an existing selection, use the color range command repeatedly to select a subset of colors. For example, to select the green areas in a cyan selection, select cyans in the color range dialog box and click OK. And then reopen the color range dialog box and select greens, and the results are suitable because this technique, by the way, select parts of colors within a color mix. And you can also select skin tones and automatically detect faces to select them to create a selection that preserves skin tones while you adjust the color of everything else. And select invert below the eyedropper symbols. And you have also to choose step number 1. Choose select, then choose color range. And you can also use color range to refine a layer mask. Step number 2, from the select menu, choose one of the following. We have skin tones to select colors that resemble common skin tones and enable detect faces for more accurate skin tone selection. And sampled colors is meaning that to enable the eyedropper tool and big sample colors from the image. And if you are selecting multiple color ranges in the image, select localized color clusters, a bold or a more accurate selection. And the color or tonal range, by the way, you want to be able to adjust the selection if you use this option. Step number 3. Select one of the display options. We have option here now, 2 options, selection and image. Selection is meaning that previews the selection that will result from the colors you sample in the image, and by default white areas are selected pixels and black areas are unselected, by the way, and the gray areas are partially selected. And what about image? Image is meaning previews the entire image. For example, you might want to sample from a part of the image that isn't on screen. And to toggle between the image and selection previews in the color range dialog box, press Ctrl if you use Windows or Command if you use Mac OS. Step number 4. For sampled colors, position the eyedropper pointer over the image or preview area and click to sample the color you want included, like this screenshot, sampling color here now. And to adjust the selection, you should to add colors and then select the plus eyedropper and click in the preview area or image. And you should also to remove colors and then select the minus eyedropper and click in the preview area or image again. To activate the plus eyedropper temporarily, hold down Shift and hold down Alt if you use Windows or Option if you use Mac OS to activate the minus eyedropper. Step number 5. Adjust the range of colors selected using the fuzziness slider or by entering a value. The fuzziness setting controls how wide a range of colors is in the selection and increases or decreases the amount of partially selected pixels and gray areas in the selection preview, and set a low fuzziness value to restrict the color range and a higher value, by the way, to increase the range. Increasing fuzzing expand the selection, and if you selected localized color clusters, use the range slider to control how far off or near a color must be from the sample points to be included in the selection. For example, your image contains a patch of yellow flowers in both the foreground and the background, but you want to select just the foreground flowers. Sample the colors in the foreground flowers and reduce the range so that the similarly colored flowers in the background are not selected, by the way. And step number 6. To preview the selection in the image window, choose a selection preview option. And you have options here: none and grayscale, and black matte and white matte, and quick mask. And I want to explain everything now. None is meaning shows the original image, and grayscale is meaning shows white for completely selected pixels, and gray for partially selected ones, and black for unselected ones. Black matte is meaning that shows the original image for selected pixels, and black for unselected ones. And this option is good for bright image, by the way. And what about white matte? White matte is meaning that shows the original image for selected pixels, and white for unselected ones. This option, by the way, is good for dark images. So what about quick mask? Quick mask is meaning shows unselected areas as a robulous overlay or a custom color you have specified in the quick mask options dialog box. Step number 7. To revert to the original selection, hold down Alt Fuse Windows or Option Fuse macOS and then click Reset. Step number 8. To save and load color range setting, use the Save and Load buttons in the color range dialog box to save and reuse the current setting. And you can save scan, tones, selections setting as a preset. Note and be careful here please now. If you see the message no pixels are more than 50% selected, the selections border will not be visible, by the way, and you may have picked a color choice from the select menu, such as reds, and when the image didn't contain any red hues with the high enough saturation. And adjust skin tones. What about adjust skin tones? And save skin tones setting as a preset. How to save skin tones setting as a preset? The color range selections command save skin, by the way, tones selections as a preset, and it can also save the setting for the detect faces option when you select skin tones or sampled colors. And to save skin tones setting as a preset, you should do the following now. We have steps. Step number 1 is to select, then choose color range. Choose select, then choose color range. Step number 2, in the color range dialog box, choose skin tones from the select menu. And step number 3, for more accurate skin tone selection, select the detect faces and then adjust the fuzziness slider or enter a value. And to help you make your selections, make sure the display option is set to selections and choose a selection preview to view your selections in the document window. Step number 4, click the save button and in the save window type a file name for the skin tone preset and then click save. To load a skin tones presets, we have two options again. How to load a skin tones presets? Number 1, in the color range dialog box, click the load button. Number 2, in the load window, select the preset file you want and then click load. Thank you.